Thank you very much. Björn, welcome.
Thank you very much, Laura.
Welcome, everybody. It's rather rude, rather impolite of me to start with mentioning your age, Björn, but you're now improbably 80 years old.
Yes, though I doubt it myself.
I doubt it, having met you. Most artists of your generation are, well, some of them are touring, but a lot of them are probably just sitting back and reclining on their royalties checks.
Yeah.
And you're not. You've continued in the last few years to break new ground, innovate within the music industry, particularly with Pop House. I wonder what that has given you.
Well, it's been fun, you know. It's happened out of curiosity. Everything really after ABBA, wanting to try new things. For instance, there was Mamma Mia the musical, which started with a loose idea that could you write a musical around some existing songs, and that people hadn't done that before. It never happened before. And I thought, oh yeah, maybe an interesting experiment. And that's how that started. And I was ready, you know, to pull the plug at any time during that process if it hadn't worked, if it hadn't been good for ABBA.
Yeah.
But it worked, and there was script after script, and finally we had a musical with you know, at least I think, a credible story around existing songs and using the lyrics to tell the story as well. And then it continued with Mamma Mia the Party, for instance, which is now at the O2.
Yep. And
Voyage was, you know, an experiment as well. Could you, yes, they said that you could make digital copies of yourself, and we thought that sounds interesting, and what, you know, all the things you possibly could do with digital copies. Mm-hmm. So that's how Voyage was born. Also experiment, curiosity. That's how it happened.
I've been trying to find actually a thread that connects all these different parts of your life, and I sort of came to rest on the idea of storytelling and the idea that through songwriting and composing and Pop House, Voyage, you have first and foremost loved to find different ways to tell a story. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I wonder where that storytelling curiosity and comes from. Can you trace it back for us?
Well, most people are interested in a good story, and I've always been, you know, story-oriented. I remember that during the 70s, with ABBA, I used to envy people who could write, you know, commercial pop lyrics. It was just, you know, I love you and all that. Whereas I always ended up with a little story in the songs. And now, of course, I'm happy. I couldn't write those other commercial lyrics that the Bee Gees and others around me could. Yeah. But I think that's where I come from, and whatever you're doing, you have to tell a story.
Was storytelling a big part of your childhood, of growing up? Who were the big storytellers to you? Not
more than anybody's upbringing. Fairy tales and so forth. It was nothing in particular, really, that I can think of where it comes from.
When you are with Pop House bringing in a new artist, Cyndi Lauper, say, are you immediately thinking about what is the story we can tell about this artist and this brand?
Yeah, that's the fun thing, that Pop House, with the experience that I have from having fun, creating new fun things with the ABBA catalogue. I thought, this is wonderful. This is a playground, Pop House. Mm-hmm. To be able to do that with other people's catalogues as well, with their blessing, and helping them and being able to partake in the creation of something that will maybe make them more relevant in this time, and also helping their legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So from my point of view, I see Pop House as a kind of creative hub with a fund, a lot of money attached to it, with which you could do fun things for other artists. So yes, that's the whole idea behind it.
Could you give us an example? I know a lot of people in this room will be aware of the artists involved, but perhaps you could just run through. It's a very diverse catalogue.
Very diverse catalogue, and we Avicii, Cyndi Lauper, Kiss. Kiss, for instance, is, we believe, could be a very interesting avatar experience in the kind of Marvel universe. They were cartoons to begin with, and now they've ascended into the digital world. And so that's very exciting. Kiss, the brand, what they stand for. Cyndi Lauper is something completely different, and we're playing around with various different ideas, which we do with Avicii and the others as well. And there are, lots of things to do. The most obvious ones are documentaries and new releases of records, remixes and stuff like that. But there's so much else. There's the gaming world and now the Avatar concerts, and who knows what happens around the corner. We are in the forefront. We try to keep, in touch with everything that happens, especially now with AI.
Mm-hmm. I'll come to AI in a moment, but I'm just wondering about that curiosity. You mentioned it's powering everything that you're telling us. You mentioned that after ABBA, that was what sort of propelled you to do things like Mamma Mia. Has that curiosity ever wavered in your life, or that sort of experimentalism?
No, I'm so grateful for that. It hasn't. That I actually wake up curious every morning. There's something to look forward to. Right now, I'm writing a musical assisted by AI.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I was going to come to that.
Oh, you're coming to that.
Yeah. Let's talk about AI. So you're also the chair of CSAC.
Yes.
Correct. I'm going to get this wrong. The International Confederation of Songwriters and Composers?
Yes.
Okay. And as such, you have been sort of very much at the forefront of representing artists and composers' rights as AI develops. I'm sure everyone's semi-sick of hearing the words AI, the letters AI at this conference, but I suppose in storytelling terms, AI has been cast slightly as this iceberg, this looming threat coming towards us. But from talking to you already, you seem to have quite a different relationship with it. Could you explain that for us?
Well, as a president of CSAC, I represent the collecting societies around the world, like PRS here in England. And, of course, the AI music generators train on copyrighted material. They have to. They train on all the world's music. And for that, we feel that they should be paying something towards the songwriters and the artists and all those who actually created what they needed to be able to create their AI models. So that's one side of it. And I think it's slowly happening. There's a debate going on in the music industry, in the music and the tech industries, about how that remuneration might happen. Mm-hmm. And also, governments, the UK government is close to taking decisions about how to regulate, how to look at AI. Yeah. And so is the European Union. So that's one side of the coin. The other one is that it's fantastic. it is such a great tool. It's unimaginable that you can bounce back and forth with a machine or a software which can give you ideas to go in various different directions. And it is really a going back and forth. It's a misconception is that AI can write a whole song. It's lousy at that. It's not really. It's very bad. And thank God it's very bad at lyrics as well.
Yeah.
But it can give you ideas.
Give me an example. So I don't know how much you can say about your new
well,
project,
but you know, you can prompt a lyric. You have written a lyric about something, and you're stuck maybe, and you want this song to be in a certain style, and you can prompt the lyric. You can prompt what style you want it in, and ask it, how would you extend? Where would you go from here?
Okay.
As with ChatGPT and and the others. And it usually comes up with garbage, but sometimes there is something in it that gives you another idea. Mm-hmm. So that's how it works.
That's exciting.
But it is like having another songwriter in the room with huge reference frames, It is really an extension of your mind.
Yeah.
You have access to things that you couldn't think of before.
How different is it? I mean, I imagine massively, but let's say the early days of writing with Benny, when you two first started and clearly had something very special. How different is it writing with a machine?
Well, it's quicker.
No offence to you.
You get an instant reply.
Yeah.
And it does exactly what you tell it to.
Yeah.
So, but it's not the same thing as having a songwriting partner. Mm-hmm. But it's an interesting way of doing it, and a new way of doing it. And I bet that there are songwriters and producers doing that as we speak, all around the world. And I think that also the music industry will come to some kind of agreement with the tech industry of how to work together and to remunerate. Mm-hmm. Because, as I said before, these AI models wouldn't exist without the songs that we wrote.
I guess arguably though, streaming services wouldn't exist without the songs that you wrote, and yet songwriters are still struggling to be remunerated properly from those. Do we think that this is going to be, we've learned from that and this is going to be a better model?
I think the model that is closest is the model that we have with the streaming services.
Okay.
Where they have, you subscribe.
Yeah.
And part of the subscription goes back to the music industry.
I see. Yeah.
That's what happens with Spotify and Amazon and all the others. And I think that model might be the one that applies to this as well. But AI is something completely different, so we don't know.
Yeah. Have you ever done that thing where you ask it to write ABBA lyrics?
Sorry?
Have you ever done that thing where you ask it to write ABBA lyrics or lyrics in your style?
When you prompt ABBA, it says no, you can't do that.
Beats the machine. It's actually really moving to hear you talk about AI, which I've not experienced before. And I wonder if there are other moments in your musical life where you felt thoroughly lit up by technological advancement. Are there instruments or sounds or production techniques that have given you a similar thrill?
Yeah, I mean, pop music has always been very tech-driven. Mm-hmm. And I remember when Benny Anderson and I started writing together, we always wanted the latest thing. We were always on the lookout for, you would hear a sound on a record. How was that done?
Yeah.
And then you get that stuff. Like Benny had the first, something called the Mini Moog, which was the first synth, really. And when we built our own studio, we were among the first who had digital machines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is, and that's how it will continue. Tech and music go hand in hand. Pop music go hand in hand. And that's how it continues.
How do you think you've changed as a songwriter through that?
Sorry?
How do you think you've changed as a songwriter through these developments? What's it done to your own writing?
Constantly changing, but I mean there's something in there, a core, a compass that says, I like this. Mm-hmm. I think this is good. And I think that's maybe what puts successful songwriters aside from those who are not successful, that they have that inner direction, something that says, this is good, I'll keep this. That is garbage, I won't keep that.
Yeah.
And that's, you learn, but I think you have to have it. That if there's a talent in songwriting, that's it. The rest is hard work.
Did you always instinctively have that? Or did you said you learned, was there a moment that you can pinpoint for us where you thought you've put away the garbage?
No, there was a period when Benny and I didn't quite know what garbage was.
Would you care to name that?
And there's proof of that, but people don't listen to that, thank God. A learning process. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And but primarily that was because someone was always breathing down our necks, telling us, you have to be ready now. You have to be finished now. Yeah. We need it by tomorrow. But once we won the Eurovision Song Contest, of course royalties came in, and we could say no to everything else. And we just concentrated on becoming good songwriters. And during that process we learned to throw away 95%. And we only wrote like 14 songs a year. Wow. I hear people now, I've written 200 songs this year.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, really, when I don't think they have. I think out of those 200, they should have maybe kept 10%.
Yeah. Did you set out to write 14 songs a year? Do you put limitations on yourself in that way? Because if you've left the limitations of someone breathing down your neck and saying, we need this song tomorrow, do you have any of that sort of creative tension, something to push against? Or do you not need that?
No, and that's just the way it was. That we could go weeks, writing full-time, office hours almost, and very little to show for it. So that's all we came up with, that we thought was a good song from beginning to end. Mm-hmm. Every ingredient was as we thought it should be. And then we took a long time in the studio as well, of course.
Yes.
But it's a very special satisfaction when you can listen to something, a ready mix, and you think, yeah, this is just how this should be.
Yeah.
And it happened many times with ABBA. Like when we managed to mix Mamma Mia, which was before computerized desks. So we were sitting, three of us, a sound engineer, Michael Tretto, who died sadly a couple of weeks ago, and me and Benny, and each responsible for a certain part of the desk, mixing this. Yeah. And after having done it 20 times and something went wrong, some kind of reverb didn't happen. And then you sit back and you listen to it. Yeah, it's good. That's very special.
Do you ever miss that sort of more laborious approach to it, or that sort of knife-edge approach to mixing?
Well, you know when something is missing, you know when something is wrong. And one of the secrets is never to give up. Mm-hmm. If you have that uneasy feeling, a lot of people walk away and say, well, it's good enough.
Yeah.
But it isn't. You have to go that extra few inches.
Could we touch a little on Voyage? How do you think watching yourself back has altered how you write now, if at all? But does it make you see your own songwriting differently?
Well, I mean, Voyage was something that was gradual. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like I walked into that room and suddenly saw myself as a young man. But it's kind of weird. But the strangest thing about Voyage is how emotional it is. Mm. How people so quickly forget that they're looking at screens.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed at that. We had no idea that would happen. But it seems to be almost a spiritual feeling.
Yeah.
There's something strange in the room, which is amazing.
Does it lose the oddness when you see it now, of seeing yourself young?
Does it?
Does it lose the oddness, the uncanniness of seeing yourself at a different part of your life now?
Yeah, it's...
You get used to it. Yeah. Your wife is in the audience. I feel I ought to be asking her how strange it was to see Björn. When you're looking now for Pop House for other artists whose legacy can be continued, what kind of things are you looking for?
Well, looking for a story, mm-hmm. a DNA, and our creative team is very good at, very thorough, mm-hmm. very good at kind of finding that. Because there needs to be a story.
Yeah.
And depending on what that story is, what the DNA is, you come to ideas that what you want to do with it. And it's early days yet. These things take so much time.
Yeah.
And you need to be so careful when you do it. So it seems to people, oh, we haven't seen anything yet, but it is coming.
Yeah.
But I mean, a musical like Mamma Mia took at least 4 or 5 years, mm-hmm. And Voyage the same, from beginning to actual opening night.
How far along are you with your new secret project with the AI?
I would say, personally, I feel that I am 3/4 into it.
Mm-hmm. But there are other people.
I don't know whether my partner in crime, where she thinks she is.
We've got a clue, it's a she.
She has come a long way too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there artists you would love to work with then in that looking for a story way? Mm. Are there ones that you have in your sights?
If I want to work with
Pop House, if you were to take on a story,
yeah,
are there artists that you would love to develop that story in a similar way?
Yes, of course. There are things artists I'm kind of dreaming of, but I can't tell you about that.
Just ignore them. It's just me. It's just me.
But yes, there are a few that mm-hmm. that have stories. My God, yes.
Oh, yeah. You're in the right industry.
And brands, and it's very exciting.
And what about further projects for ABBA? How do you imagine the next thing? We've done the next stage of Voyage. Are there more?
Who knows? But
I think you do, but yeah.
You think I do? No, but there will be something.
Yeah.
It's just not crystallized yet exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Something new. We'd like to be up there, even elderly pop stars.
You're wearing it well
Yeah.
as well. And what about other artists you sort of mentor now? I know that you are considered quite a mentor within the industry. How do you see that artistry changing in the last few years?
Well, I see that it's much more difficult now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so many things you have to do, and such a noise that you have to penetrate. It was much easier in the 70s. It wasn't easy then, but easier. So to give young artists today advice other than write better songs is very difficult. But it is still true. Yeah. This industry starts with a song. Whatever it is, it's the song that does it.
And what should a young writer do with that song now? What would your advice be?
Well, first write it and then record it the best way you can.
Yeah.
And if it's good enough, there are people who will understand that and help you along the way, hopefully. But you have to be you have to be prepared to be, people say no to you 10 times, and then the 11th, maybe someone says yes.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared to wait and not lose self-confidence. But other than that, with social media and everything, I know too little about that.
Do you remember the rejections, your early rejections, still keenly?
My own?
Your own rejections early on as a songwriter, or your own failures, or...
Yeah, I listened to the Beatles, and they were the reasons why Benny and I started writing at all.
Yeah.
Because before them, the songwriters had been very anonymous, like behind Elvis Presley and other people like that. Mm-hmm. But with Lennon and McCartney, you suddenly realize you can be in a band and you can write your own songs. So they were the big, big inspiration. Mm-hmm. The Beach Boys as well. And then along the way, there have been so many great songwriters. Mm-hmm. And every year there are a number of really, really good pop songs.
Yeah.
People say that the 70s was much better. I don't believe that. I think equally good today.
What are you listening to now?
The latest catchy thing, probably Am I Too Messy?
Yeah. You can do the whole song if you'd like to, Björn. We'd all enjoy it.
I can't do the next one, though. Children in the audience.
Very wise. I know that probably your answer is going to be 700 cups of coffee a day, but what do you think is the key to longevity for most artists? How do they keep going and reinvent themselves and stay relevant throughout their career?
Well, they certainly have to have that curiosity that I talked about. Mm-hmm. That's something that drives you. It still drives me today. And once you're a songwriter, once you've experienced what it's like to have other people reacting to something that you've written, that never goes away. And I think you can do that your whole life. I certainly continue doing it, and I think I enjoy it just as much today as I did before.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, we're right on time, so maybe we should leave it on that lovely note. Björn Ulvaeus, thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.